Call the meeting of the Haywood County Board of Education for May to order at this time. Board members, if you would, please rise for invocation led by Mr. Jimmy Rogers, and then we'll immediately follow that by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Our kind, gracious Heavenly Father, we want to say thank you, most of all, for the celebrations that we just experienced within the last few weeks, Lord, and Mother's Day and birth of your son. Lord, we want to say thank you for all those things you've given us. We want to say thank you, Lord, for this staff that leads the school system. And we want to say thank you for your guidance upon this board as we make decisions that affect the schools, affect the children, the communities, and the citizens of Haywood County. Lord, we do want to thank you again for the accomplishments that these children have made, that we can have the best educated children in the country. And it's all through your guidance and leadership and us following and listening and learning. And thank you again for all those leaders in our school system, the teachers, the staff, the custodians, the bus drivers, the maintenance. Everyone that works with our schools and with our children each day, that we can help them to be better people and be better people that look upon, that these children look upon for guidance and direction and education. And take this board and help us do the best decisions that helps affect the children and make the best rules, regulations, policies, and procedures that can help us be the best system in the state. Guide and direct us in all that we do. We'll give you the praise and the glory for it all. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. We've got a lot of announcements and dates to talk about. Our next regular board meeting will be held here June the 10th at 7 o'clock, and then due to the scheduling and the hiring and a lot of things going on over the summer, we will have another board meeting on June the 24th here at the Education Center at 7 p.m. Another one on July the 22nd at 7 p.m. and also August the 5th here at the Education Center at 7 o'clock. The graduation dates have been set. Pisgah High School's coming up on June the 7th at 7 p.m. at the Ramsey Center at Western County University. Tuscola's is Saturday, June the 8th at 11 a.m. at the Western County University Ramsey Center. And the Central Haywood High School graduation will be Saturday, June the 8th at 3 p.m. at Haywood Community College Auditorium. The Haywood Community Learning Center, Tuesday, June the 11th at 6:30 p.m. at the HCC Auditorium. The Partners in Education Reception and Rewards is Monday, May the 20th. 5 p.m. is the reception, 5:30 is the awards, and it's going to be held this year at Pisgah High School. And don't forget to support Quick Draw. It's Saturday, June the 1st from 4:30 to 9:30 up at Laurel Ridge Country Club. Proceeds go through the Haywood County Schools Foundation to support arts and our students in the classroom. Anyone else have any other announcements? Okay. On agenda adjustments. Okay, so the Finance Committee is going to add one item, and we'll just do it underneath the regular finance reports.
And Building Grounds needs to add two items, please.
Okay. We'll do it between the finance and the personnel. Building and Grounds. Remind me so I won't miss it. Are there any objections to the additions of the two items that we have listed? If not, they'll be added to the agenda as presented. Next, we have a lot of great presentations tonight, or recognitions, and so we'll start off with Dr. Putnam.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, we have several schools represented here tonight for athletic recognitions. We will begin by first recognizing Bethel Middle School track and field and Miss Julie Green.
Thank you, and thanks so much for having us tonight. It's really a privilege and an honor to get to come before you and recognize so many great girls, but one in particular right now, Christy Shuford, up here. She is our conference champion in shot put this year. She threw at the conference meet a distance of 26 feet, 2 3/4 inches? 26 feet, 2 3/4 inches, and could not be more proud of her. This is only her second year throwing, and can't wait to see what she does going forward. So congratulations, Christy.
Next, we will have Coach Spencer Reeves for some additional Bethel Middle School recognitions. That's going to be a recurring theme.
A lot of Bethel tonight. Thank you for the opportunity to teach and work in the Bethel community, and for some great leadership that we have at Bethel Middle School. I'd like to recognize somebody that I know very well. My own son, Dawson Reeves. He ran the 800 meters, the conference champion in the Blue Ridge Conference with a time of 2 minutes and 16 seconds. Okay, here we go. Congratulations. Thank you.
Come in and let us shake your hand.
Oh, we won't go.
Those just both go to him.
Hey Dawson, surprise. You've got one more award up here for being second overall in the Blue Ridge Conference in cross country.
Coach.
Next, we have Bethel Middle School softball. And I'll tell who she is. This is Miss Boone, Coach Boone.
Thank you again for the opportunity to be here. At the beginning of the season, I really felt like we would have a really good team, but they exceeded expectations. We finished 12-0 in the regular season, Blue Ridge Conference champions. I'm going to introduce each player.
Yep, that's it.
Whitney Boone. Mary Revis. Lady Jo Watson. Sailor Troll. Maddie Ray. Christy Shuford. She may sound familiar to you because she was our track conference champion. And we're really, really proud of our girls this year at Bethel because we were here during volleyball as West Division champions, basketball season, conference champions, and tournament champions, and here we are again in softball. So we're extra proud of our girls. Raceland Burgess. Emma Jones, Elizabeth Smith, Kenzie Mathis, Kayla Whitener, Sadie Messer, who's not here, Avon Thompson, manager Cassie Davis, and manager Megan Millsaps. And thank you to our other coaches, Rebecca Smith, Carrie Cogburn, and Tim Cash.
You're supposed to go first.
Yeah, they're good.
That's the way to keep them. You girls keep giving them a hard time, okay?
Jimmy.
And y'all hold still till I say okay, because we're trying to get multiple pictures.
Squish him.
Squish.
There we go.
Okay.
Congratulations, Dave.
Congratulations.
See, Gary.
Congratulations, Kyle. That's his dog? That's your dog? Oh, that's right. I've seen your daughter. Yeah, I've seen your
All
daughter.
right, we're going to play a little game. You want to guess who's next?
Bethel.
Bethel Middle School. We're going to recognize Bethel Middle School girls track at this time. Again, Coach Green.
Once again, thank you. Girls track this year just exceeded all expectations. At a school of roughly 250 kids, on the first day of track when I had 50 show up, I kind of thought, wow, this is awesome. And the even better thing is they stuck with it. They just made me proud week after week, and they went out and competed and worked and trained hard on their own. And they are the key to our success this season. Of course, girls, come up here. As you can see, not all 50 of them made it this evening, so I'm not going to sort through their certificates right now, but I do want to take a second to recognize them. So first we have Alyssa Cagle. Kennedy Barker. Avon Thompson. Maddie Dorland. Whitney Boone. Meredith Collins. Samantha Morgan. Sierra Early. And Christy Shuford. Girls, just to address you real quick, I'm so proud of you and everything you've accomplished, and you 8th grade girls. It's hard to think about life without you next year, but I can't wait to see what you do at Pisgah. So congratulations on a great season.
You can just take it. I'm going to let you take all of these photos.
Tall. Someone's tall. I'm just short. Yeah. What did you say?
That's all I see.
Next, we have Pisgah High School Athletics. First to speak will be Coach Tammy Inslee.
Hello, I'm Tammy Inslee. I'm the varsity cheer coach at Pisgah High School. I just finished 14 years. I have two girls from my team. They're juniors, and they received all-region cheer recognition from the North Carolina Cheerleading Coaches Association. So that made them eligible to try out for the all-state team. So they were among over 60 other girls from across the state. Only 24 girls were chosen, and 2 girls from Pisgah were chosen. So that's a real honor. Lily Inslee and Callie Georgestadt. They will travel to Greensboro July the 13th through the 17th. They will cheer at the All-State East-West basketball game and the East-West football game. They'll spend those days down there learning the material with other girls, no parents, just those coaches. So it's a good experience, preparation for college. Thank you.
Next, we have from Pisgah High School, Coach Casey Crook for some special recognitions as well.
I suckered him into coming by telling him he had a Player of the Year, and he does have a Player of the Year to introduce, but he is it's Tanner White. He had to work tonight, but we wanted to introduce and be sure to celebrate Mr. Jacob Hanna, Coach Jacob Hanna. He was recently named Coach of the Year in the conference for the 2nd year in a row in tennis. And I'll go ahead and tell you, 2 years ago didn't know the first thing about tennis. Now halfway knows about tennis. But he has done an outstanding job with our kids and was 1 game away this year from winning the school's first conference championship in history in men's tennis. And that's a big deal. That's a big accomplishment. He's gotten joy and enthusiasm in our program, and he's someone we're very, very proud of and wanted to recognize tonight.
And I think his are right here. I think that's right.
Step up there and have your picture made with you.
Yes.
I'd love to.
Sorry.
Understand he recruits really well.
He also recruited my daughter. Jacob, you need to work on the technical terms. She calls it a tennis bat. Next, we have an individual recognition in golf. Not here. Yes, Casey Crook, could you come tell them about it?
We recently had last week Alex Boone won Player of the Year 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry, won Player of the Year in the conference as well. So we had a Player of the Year in tennis, Player of the Year in golf, and I'm sure there's many more that we haven't introduced this time, but we'll get to them next time. I didn't know.
Very good. And next we have Pisgah High School Sportsman Club. Team seniors, who competed all 4 years at state competition. I'm going to introduce their coach. Come ahead, Coach.
All right. David Franklin. I help with Sportsman's Club at Pisgah and Canton Middle. First off, thank you all for having us tonight. Dr. Nolte, Dr. Putnam, Miss Barker, Chairman Francis, Board, everybody, thank you. I've got a group tonight that I wanted to recognize, a group of 4 seniors that have been in the program. I won't say 4 years, but most of them 7 or 8 years, so they've come all the way through middle school. So I'm going to bring those seniors in. Merritt Kirkendall. Oh, we got the Allie Fisher. Tristan Carson. Dawson Smith wasn't able to be here tonight. So, like I say, this group has been extremely successful in our Sportsman's Club. They're leaders, and I truly believe they'll go on in life and be leaders as they leave Pisgah and head out into their future endeavors. Got one more I want to recognize tonight from the Sportsman's Club for this year is Colby Donaldson. Colby was, he's a freshman, and this year he finished 2nd at state in archery. He was 1 point behind, or I'm sorry, he was tied with score, but was 1 X count away from being in first place. So congratulations, Colby. Okay. And while I'm here, I'm going to thank some of my other coaches that are here. Daryl Donaldson and Mike Frazier are here tonight also, and my team mom, Sherry Donaldson. I don't know where she's went, but without her, we'd never make it.
Y'all kind of clutched together there a little bit.
Maybe let's have a couple people in the back. There we go.
Great job.
I saw you jumping up and down up there.
Yelling.
Congratulations.
I thought he had one. I didn't know they took one away for that 15-yard graduation.
I didn't know what you mean. Coaching anymore.
Just call and make sure I'm there anytime.
Yeah, I talked it all. Nobody already designed.
Next, we have Canton Middle School track and field. I'm going to have their coach come forward.
Evening. How's everybody? I've got Logan Free. He won the conference in long jump with a jump of 17 feet 4 inches. He won the conference in triple jump with 34 feet 11.5 inches. And he also finished second with his personal best record in the 400 meter with 57. So not only can he jump, but he can run. And I look forward to seeing what this young man's going to accomplish with him being in the 8th grade and 4 years up at Pisgah. He's a very coachable kid, young man, I should say. And I've really enjoyed having him for the last 2 years down at middle school. Appreciate you. Shake hands right through there.
Way to go, Coach.
Thank you,
We need your picture. You're good. You're good. Next, we have Waynesville Middle School Sportsman Club State Team.
Introduce myself. How y'all doing? I'm Brandon Sutton. I'm the coach with the Waynesville Middle School shooting team. We had a really good team this year. We actually went to regionals, and we placed first with shotgun at regionals. So we actually got to go on to state this year, and had a really good team. We competed there, and we ended up 7th overall as a team in the state. But our shotgun team did end up placing first with state. So that was really good with a score of 890. Okay. First kid I want to recognize is Riley Nolan. Come on up. Okay. Next is Andy Brown, but Andy's not here. I think he's actually being recognized for something else with track tonight. Okay. Next I want to recognize is Nick Wagner. Next I want to recognize is Will Beasley. Next is Bryson Justice. Next is Mason Clark. This little guy was our alternate. He also shot bow, but 6th grader, probably the most improved in the whole bunch. Okay. This next kid, Hunter Creaseman, come on up here, Hunter. Hunter Creaseman actually went down here to state. That's for being on the club. Hold on, stand right here with me. For being on the team. But Hunter went down and he shot a perfect score, which was 200. Then he went on to compete against, how many more was there? 5? 5 other kids that shot a perfect score. And Hunter ended up beating those 5 kids. So he was number 1 in the state individually in shotgun. And that's it. Okay.
Come on up here and let's get your picture. If you want that picture. Certificates in. That'll keep them from getting water or creased. Come on, I'll get out of here. And last but certainly not least, we have Tuscola High School Sportsman Club State Team. You are. You're handing certificates out right here. And here's what's got to record, right?
Yeah. Okay. Hope y'all doing good this evening. My name's Brian McElroy. Me, Ned Hooper, and Carol Gibson coaches the Tuscola team. This is our 2nd year in a row making it to state. Unfortunately, we got down there this year and didn't do near what we wanted to. But I think it's awesome that they made it 2nd year in a row. I got a couple that's not here. Dylan Messer, he's one of my seniors. So we're going to lose him. Bailey Hooper. Isaac McElroy. He's also a senior. Jared Gibson. Also a senior. Hunter Troll. Also a senior. Peyton Sutton. Also a senior. And Peyton now went down there to state. Peyton actually got down there and finished up 3rd overall in archery in the whole state. So that's awesome, awesome thing down there at state to place anywhere. So good job, Peyton. That's it.
All right, we want all coaches, team moms, whatever you got. We want you in the picture. Come on.
You're not?
Much too. You want to come right here? I'm out of your way. You're fine.
Everybody scoot this way just a little.
Come this way a little bit.
Scoot this way just a little. Now let's see if I can see everybody.
Get in there close. No, I'm good.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm Boston. Here we go.
Now look over here.
All right.
There we go.
Brian.
Can you send me that picture?
She can. I don't know how to work on something like that.
Chairman Francis, members of the board, Dr. Nolte, Dr. Putnam, Mrs. Barker, and guests. Tonight is my privilege to recognize our district elementary Battle of the Book winners. All 8 of our elementary schools compete annually in this competition. To prepare for the battle, students read 15 high-interest novels, often many times, and they learn to collaborate and communicate as a team. For the particular team that won this year, they have a series of intricate hand symbols to let each other know when they know the answer or when they need to be quiet. And that becomes really important in this competition. Each of the 6 members that compete in any given round only have 20 seconds to provide the answer, so teamwork is a critical component. Bethel Elementary won this year's local competition and went on to represent Haywood County at the regional competition. I would like to call on Mrs. Chen, media coordinator, to introduce her team.
All right, guys, step on up when I call your name. Cooper Crook. Addison Messer. Ashlyn Robinson. How many is that? Daniela Mendoza. Savannah Chambers. Ruthie Collins. Brooklyn Snyder. Crew Clemens. Tegan Harris. And Rosie Burgess.
It's not optional for you. You can vote for this.
Let's do 2 rows, guys. One up on the center, one up here. There you go.
Board members, I want to echo Kim Guffey. Our middle school team, they have to read 27 books. And I found out I'm very competitive even when it comes to reading books, because I sit and watch them compete and it gets really heated. Our Waynesville middle school team won our district Battle of the Books. Then I went to regional with them. We went to Hendersonville. They were behind 7 points in the last round going against Hendersonville. 7 points is like, 2.5 questions. They come back in the last round and beat the team by 7 points. You only get 12 questions. So they come back, made up 7, and then beat them by 7. And at the end, you're sitting there going, you got to be kidding me. This team really battled and really fought. 27 books had to memorize. I want to introduce Ms. Kreuzberg from Waynesville Middle School to introduce her team.
Thank you. Kyrie Sickman? Thank you. Come this way, honey.
Put you right out here.
Gus Farmer. Seamus Tignord. Muriel Ottinger is not with us. Katie Sanford. Scarlett Strickland. And Luke Sutherland.
Board, I know I'm not supposed to speak, but I just want to let everybody know that Ms. Kreisberg will be leaving us at the end of the year due to retirement. You will be greatly missed, irreplaceable, and thank you for everything you've done for Haywood County, Waynesville Middle, and our children. Thank you. Hold on, just...
One more. Thank you all.
We're going to shift gears just a little bit and recognize some educators. And I'd like to introduce Emily Burrows. She's the North Carolina chapter of American Association of Teachers of French. They have recognized Ms. Burrows as the NCAATF Teacher of the Year. The award recognizes charter members who demonstrate outstanding pedagogical skills, demonstrates concern for students' needs and abilities, shows evidence of continuing professional growth through studies of travel in countries where French is official language, attend professional meetings or participate in foreign language workshop, retreats, or institutes, and shows evidence of active contribution to foreign language education beyond the classroom. Ms. Burrows teaches French at Pisgah High School, and it's my honor to introduce her.
You got your towel.
I get to continue just a time or two. I thought they'd hid my notes from me. It kind of made me panic. We've got Stephanie Morgan, a math teacher from Pisgah High School, who was chosen as one of 12 exceptional educators to participate in professional development and curriculum fellowship focus on Population Institute Overbook. The Overbook project on environment and sustainability is an interdisciplinary professional learning opportunity which is aimed to deepen educators' understanding of contemporary global environment and sustainable issues and resources for teaching about these issues. The most important thing I thought was just really interesting was she has some work that's posted on the web, and one of them is, are people dense? Density, population, and possible pollution correlation. I just got to the are people dense, and I stopped right there. I said, that's good, I'm going to read that. And then here's the other one, wild. The calculus-based physics of water use. Congratulations, Miss Morgan. Excuse me, Mr. Crew.
Oh, my bad. He said eye candy on his way by.
Board, I have one more teacher to recognize, and it's Mr. Stephen Robertson. The VFW Veterans Foreign War recognize outstanding teachers that promote civic responsibility, flag etiquette, and patriotism. A teacher that helps students develop a better understanding of democratic values and belief. It's my honor to introduce a man who served our country for 25 years in Florida, Texas, Greece, England, and Alaska, and now serves the children of Haywood County at Tuscola High School as an ROTC instructor. The Tuscola graduate, as he reminded me today, from 1986, fulfills all these requirements necessary to be named the North Carolina Veterans Foreign War Teacher of the Year. Congratulations. I had to look this one up. Senior Master Sergeant Stephen Robertson. Thank you. I know, I get to stand up here.
Congratulations.
Chairman Francis, members of the board, Dr. Nolte, Dr. Putnam, and Ms. Barker, and guests, it's my pleasure tonight to recognize our 2019 Employees of the Year. And because Mr. Haney hasn't spoken enough tonight, I asked him if he would help me read these out tonight. So he's going to read the first 5 and I'm going to read the next 5. The first one is our Bus Driver of the Year.
We all know that bus drivers are a commodity at this point in time, so it's a great honor to recognize Miss Vicki Queen from Bethel Middle School as our 2019 Employee of the Year. I want to brag on Miss Queen just for a minute. She's been driving the Bethel community for many years. She takes her route and her children's safety very seriously. She builds positive relationships with her students and their families, and she's proud of her bus and always makes sure it's in pristine condition. So we want to thank you very much for that. Thank you, Miss Queen.
We'll take all their pictures together. So, is it? Yeah.
The next one.
Sorry.
The next one we'd like to introduce is Custodian of the Year. Our Custodian of the Year is Kevin Leatherwood. Kevin is custodian at Riverbend Elementary. He was described as being as dependable as the sun rising in the morning. That's pretty dependable. He's hardworking, detailed, focused, and has high expectations for himself and others. He has a positive attitude and willing to do what he can to make sure children are taken care of. It's an honor and privilege to introduce Mr. Leatherwood as our Custodian of the Year. Next person I'd like to introduce is our Food Service Employee of the Year. Food Service Employee is Kim Stiles from Jonathan Valley Elementary School. Haywood County Schools Food Service Employee of the Year is Kim Stiles. She has worked at Jonathan Valley for 19 years. Her heart for children is apparent in all that she does. She makes sure that children feel special and notices what is going on with them. She is the first one to compliment them on a new haircut or new outfit. She has given hundreds of hugs to kids and goes above and beyond to provide for students. She makes everyone feel welcome and does her best to accommodate all the different needs in the cafeteria. It's an honor and privilege to introduce to you Miss Kim Stiles from Jonathan Valley Elementary School. Our maintenance employee of the year is Miss Sharon Chambers. She cleans at 5 different locations. That's a task in itself. She comes to the central office sometimes, so I can attest. Sometimes it gets messy up there, so I understand. She helps with custodial questions and works with vendors to try new, more affordable products. You can find Sharon helping anywhere needed. She may be in the cabinet shop, spraying ornamental turf, changing filters, and even driving the bucket truck for the crew. She's dependable and hardworking. Sharon Chambers is our Maintenance Employee of the Year. Before I turn this over to Ms. Bellier, I want to introduce the Instructional Technology Employee of the Year, Brian White. Brian has worked with ITC for quite a while. He is very dependable. He's a very valuable part of the IT department. He works hard and takes his duties very seriously. He's always willing to help, and they kid me that I'm Mr. Technology, and he's helped me many times in many ways, because I am probably the opposite of Mr. Technology. But Brian has always been very nice and very kind to me and to everyone that he faces. So it's a privilege and an honor to introduce Mr. Brian White, Instructional Technology Employee of the Year.
Or curly. Oh, that's what he calls him.
Well, I was just thinking that bus driver did compliment me on my hair when she come in. I thought that was very nice of her.
Our Instructional Support Employee of the Year. Lindsay Moore is the school counselor at North Canton Elementary. She was described as being a part of every program at the school and more than just a counselor. She teaches classes, works with technology, gives students opportunities to learn life skills. She's a cheerleader for the North Canton Battle of the Books team, runs the Cat's Meow Club, which encourages good attendance and getting to school on time. Lindsay builds relationships with the kids and is a big support for the classroom teachers. North Canton Elementary is lucky to have the Instructional Support Employee of the Year, Lindsay Moore. Our Haywood County Schools Teacher Assistant of the Year is Miss Joanne Grasty. Joanne works at Tuscola High School and is retiring at the end of this year. She has worked with students with disabilities for most of her career. She works endlessly as the job coach for those students and builds relationships with businesses so that no matter the student's disability, they can get a job. She transports students to work and helps them to be successful no matter where they are. One co-worker said, "She has made a difference in a countless number of students' lives by finding and helping them attain employment. This will carry over in their whole life." It is an honor to recognize Joanne Grasty as the Teacher Assistant of the Year. Our Transportation Employee of the Year, I don't think he's here. Mike Roberts is an integral part of the Transportation Department. He answers early calls regarding weather or breakdowns. He is a great parts person and gets all the supplies we need in a timely and cost-effective manner. He is a selfless person and understands the processes to keep the bus fleet safely on the road. Mike genuinely has the best interests of students, schools, and the Transportation Department. The Haywood County Schools Transportation Employee of the Year is Mike Roberts. And our last one is our Office Support Employee of the Year. The Office Support Employee of the Year is Sharon Case from Pisgah High School. Miss Case works in the guidance office and is a great asset to the school. She has an amazing rapport with high schoolers and makes students feel comfortable and cared for. She understands the sensitivity of working with high school students and helps them without judgment. She truly makes a difference in the lives of not only the students but her co-workers as well. It is my pleasure to announce Sharon Case as the Office Support Professional of the Year. It's stuck behind it.
Missed one.
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Didn't look good. Oh.
Jason, I'm trying to keep your chair.
Oh, I did miss one. Sorry. After school employee of the year. It was stuck. The Haywood County Schools After School Employee of the Year is Michelle Mull from Jonathan Valley. She's on her way back from Nebraska. Oh, okay. Michelle is the director of the after school program. She takes the job very personally and makes sure that kids and families are taken care of after 3 o'clock. She also does early care at the beginning of the morning at 6:30 at Jonathan Valley. She's always willing to go the extra step to help her students. It's with great admiration that we recognize Michelle Mull as the Haywood County Schools After School Employee of the Year. Thank you. Oh, I don't know what you're doing. Yeah. You didn't get your thing.
I didn't do anything. You're actually over the foundation. So.
Is Michelle doing a home visit?
Come on now. Now y'all stay put, because we got some folks back here that want a picture too.
Get up there close.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep it up there. It's like herding the cat.
One row in the back and one row in the front. All right. All right.
You can thank me later.
You better sticky.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
She said she's at her internet time.
Congratulations to all the award winners tonight, and thank you for attending our meeting. And now the mass exodus is over, so we'll get to the business part of our meeting. But you know, board members, I don't know about you all, but I think that this is time well spent to recognize young men and young women that have excelled in their school and athletics and learning and scholarship, and then to award our employees to recognize them for the hard work they do, and I think it's time well spent.
So that word wow, you know.
Oh, I know.
I think it's
wow, so thank you.
Larry had his whole voting district here.
Yeah.
Well, we did figure out, I think everybody from Bethel was here tonight.
There's nobody in Bethel tonight, so. It made it to.
Way to go, Bethel.
Just lower that voting age down to 16, you'll be good to go there. On a serious note, I think congratulations. And Bethel was well represented. I will hand you that.
Yes, sir.
Ms. King, did anyone sign up to address the board in open session? Thank you. Board members, you've had an opportunity to see and read the closed and regular session minutes. Would anyone like to make a motion to be approved as presented?
Make a motion we approve as presented.
Mr. Kirkpatrick's made a motion, second Ms. Barrett. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Earlier this evening, we had the pleasure of meeting and reintroducing ourselves to Mr. Caleb Rathbone, who applied for the HCC Board of Trustees appointment. We had one applicant, and boy, he's a good one. We had an excellent talk with or interview, I'd say, with Mr. Rathbone, and certainly very highly qualified for this position, and comes highly recommended. I think he did an excellent job. He's committed to the college. He's attended the college for 2 years and then went on to further education, but just a fine young man. It's a Haywood County product that I highly recommend, and I think the board would all agree that highly qualified him.
I'd like to go ahead and make a motion that we appoint Mr. Rathbone to the Haywood County Board of Trustees.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor from Mr. Kirkpatrick. Do I hear a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Second, Mr. Jimmy Rogers. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Dr. Nolte and Ms. King, would y'all please notify Mr. Rathbone, or I'll call him tonight.
And tell him it's close.
I'll just give him a call.
Yeah, tell him it's close. I mean,
very close.
Yeah, it's really close.
Split decision.
We'll let Mr. Francis tell him.
Board members, we have several of y'all that are going to attend the leadership conference coming up this summer. And we need to have approval for Ann Barrett, David Burnett, Ronnie Clark, Stephen Kirkpatrick, and Larry Henson to be able to go to the Leadership and Policy Conference coming up this summer, Don.
And Jimmy.
And what?
And me.
Jimmy.
Oh, and Jimmy, okay. It wasn't on my list, I'm sorry. Jimmy, you can't go.
He's not going.
Jimmy's not going to get to go. Jimmy, you're not going to get to go.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, we have a motion from Dr. Rogers. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second, Jim Francis. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And Jimmy, you do get to go. It was just passed. There, very good.
Yeah, it's close. Another one of those folks votes.
There it was. Next on our agenda, we have Ms. Jill Barker.
Chairman Francis and members of the board. Woo, karaoke mic here. No, that came off. Last week in a board work session, Mr. Hines and I discussed hard to staff secondary positions with you, specifically in the areas of Math 1, Biology, and English 2. It has become really difficult to, even within our schools, to fill those positions, and even a lot of times outside applicants. There are not applicants for those positions there. We have offered hard to staff stipends in the past in areas of EC and math in Haywood County previously. But at this time, I would like to request your approval for our high school principals, Tuscola and Pisgah, to offer a $500 stipend to teachers who are willing to teach a section or section in these hard to staff areas. So, Chairman Francis, I would like to ask your approval and the board this time.
I hear a
Any
motion.
questions?
Approve as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the high school recruitment and retention plan.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Francis. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Clark. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? Any questions?
I think it's a very good plan. I mean, it's a good way to, we got to try it. I think that's a good thing you'll come up with.
I think you make Todd happy back here, Grantham. Thank you.
Any other discussion? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Good job. Very good. We knew it was going to go.
Now you've got to sing us a song.
Karaoke. Next on our agenda, we need to ask our attorney, Pat Smathers, for...
Excuse me, I just need y'all to authorize the clerk of court, who is currently serving as a trustee on several criminal bonds, to appoint me as substitute trustee so I can begin the foreclosure proceedings on those criminal bonds.
We just need a motion for that effect.
Motion.
Okay.
Allow the clerk of court to appoint me as serve as substitute trustee.
I hear a motion. Dr. Rogers has made the motion. Do I hear a second?
A second.
Second, Ms. Barrett. Any questions or discussion on the motion? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It passes unanimously, Pat, so now you're the one. Substitute trustee of deeds of trust. There you go. Next we have Dr.
Mr. Chairman, let me also ask.
Okay.
One thing that did come up, you know, back on December 13th, we declared what was called the Angel property. It's property on Terrace Street in Canton surplus. I would need to do some legal research since it did become by way of a foreclosure on a bond as to where the funds will go to. But I anticipate offering this to the county commissioners. I do not expect them to want this piece of property. The question is that when they decide, when they tell us they do not want it, whether you want to just do this, to be thinking about a realtor to serve as to sell this property. You can do it at public sale. I still think we have a better chance to with the realtor. So,
I agree.
Just be thinking about that, and I'll be getting information back to you on that.
Let us know how it progresses through the.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Dr. Putnam.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, you have two policies being introduced for first reading. That is policy 2330, governs board meeting agendas. Essentially, this policy distinguishes the vote necessary to amend a proposed meeting, a majority vote, and the vote needed to amend the adopted agenda, 2/3 vote. That's the gist of the change, that policy.
When I read this too, I think what we need to do is we need to start putting a line on our agenda to approve the agenda. And that way we would be in compliance with this policy. Because here, what we've done in the past is just had the agenda and then we just tried to amend it. So it's just one more step.
Correct.
And we can still amend it like we've been doing, just do it before we vote on the agenda.
That's correct. That's correct. And then the second item is 4240/7312 child abuse reports and investigations. Essentially, the law requires now that any suspected child maltreatment by a caregiver in a child care facility, including a licensed preschool classroom, so that's how it affects us, or other licensed classroom or program operated by the school system, must be reported to the Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Child Development and Early Education. And the policy committee met and said that we would report to the DCDEE and to the county child welfare also. So the only legal requirement is that we report to the DCDE, which is the state governance of early development child care centers. We additionally wanted a report to go to the Department of Health and Human Services.
Okay.
So those two are up for first read.
Okay.
For second read, you have, I probably need to shut up right there.
Just for a second.
Okay.
We're going to table those until their next regular board meeting for public input. Now.
Sorry, didn't mean to jump the gun there. The second reading is policy 6350, use of board-owned vehicles. That policy was presented at the last meeting. There's been extensive discussion about the MOU that accompanies that, and that was presented at work session and reviewed again in Building and Grounds this afternoon.
Okay.
I'll make a motion we approve 6350. I make a motion that we approve 6350 as presented.
Okay, we have a motion for Mr. Kirkpatrick, second by Mr. Rogers. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Putnam. Now we'll call on Mr. Ronnie Clark for our Finance Committee update.
Okay. I have one motion. We need to approve the purchase of a driver's education car from driver's education funds, so they already have the funds. And we're going to replace basically a 2002 Camry with a brand new Toyota Corolla. So that's the motion.
We have a motion from Mr. Clark from the Finance Committee. Do I hear a second?
Second.
So Mr. Henson. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Okay. Also, I have the motion to approve the regular monthly finance reports. Everything looks good. We went through it and it's good to go. So.
We have a motion from Mr. Clark from Finance Committee about the regular monthly financial reports. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Henson. I believe you beat him just by a split second. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Anything else?
No, sir.
Thank you very much for the hard work the Finance Committee does, and all you do is for us. Next, we have Dr. Rogers for Building and Grounds.
Mr. Chairman, the Building and Grounds Committee makes the following motion that the board approve the installation of new playground equipment at Riverbend Elementary School. That equipment will be funded by Riverbend, cost of $22,300, and those monies have been accrued through various fundraisers throughout the year.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Kirkpatrick. Any question or discussion on the motion? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Mr. Chairman, the Building Grounds also brings forward a motion to approve the reverting of ADM funds from that had been previously designated for access control back to the county. At a later date, we'll be re-asking for those funds for safety-related equipment.
Okay, we have a motion from Dr. Rogers. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Jimmy Rogers. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Anything else from Building and Grounds? Being nothing else, thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Last but not least, Dr. Nolte with our personnel.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, staff, and guests. We reviewed personnel earlier this evening in closed session, and I bring to you these items at this time for your information. Separation of employment, 21. Employee status changes, 6. And then for your approval, employment, 3. Employee status changes, 97. That's mainly summer school stuff we talked about earlier. Leave of absence, 1. Substitutes, 1. Employee coaches, 10. Non-employee coaches, 3. Volunteer services, 3.
Make a motion that we accept personnel as presented.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Kirkpatrick. Do I hear a second?
A second.
Second, Ms. Barrett. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, board.
Dr. Nolte. Thank you much. There being nothing else to come before the board, meeting adjourned.